Report. This is Aksichan, and I'll be taking you to a journey through our minds. Yes, our minds and our society. All of us suffer inside our heads, and I'm one of all of us. And instead of actually doing something productive like meditating or eating healthy, I decided to go on a journey and rant it out to you guys. So it all started by me making a webtoon comic that's centered on mental health awareness, of course. You'll find the link in the description box below. You should check it out. It depicts different aspects of society and how they take a toll on our mental health. This idea that came to me was when I was doing my A-levels. I recently finished my A-levels, and my English teacher, she was so amazing, her name is Mrs. Sadia. I would like to take some time to appreciate her, because I really, she's one of those people in life who really inspired you, and she really inspired me. So she used to ask us to explore a lot. So while we were doing some English assignment, she asked us to explore this idea of language and thought processes. So while we were exploring the whole idea, we came across a very strange idea that was given by the American philosopher Jerry Fodder. He gave the idea of a language of thought hypothesis, which said that we did not have the same language when we are thinking. Like, if I speak English, so I wouldn't be thinking in English. I would be thinking in a language called mentalese. That was his idea, that we had this universal language which we used while thinking. So you cannot prove it by science. Well, science hates stuff like that. So you can neither deny it nor prove it, that it actually exists. So people just go along with the idea because the idea itself is really strange and amazing. So even I wanted to depict that idea in my comic, where our minds speak a different language and they somehow communicate with us in a different way than we humans communicate with each other. These thoughts in our heads become pretty authentic, and they take most of us, they consume us, they pretty much eat us up. And while they're circulating in our head, we don't dare to speak them out, and thus they just keep on flooding inside of our heads. And that is not a good thing, because we have seen so many people lose their lives. When I started all of this, I actually wanted to encourage people to speak it out, convey their emotions, tell about the thoughts that they're having. I myself want to do that. I want to take the first step and share so many things with you guys and show so many tips that kept me alive till now, even with all of the thoughts that I had and the fears that I had, and when I say those fears become authentic and real, those thoughts become authentic and real, they do, because sometimes you get them in your nightmare, you see images, there are hallucinations going on that something is going to come and get me, no matter what the fear is. Even if it's a boogeyman, it just is there, because they're the depiction of fears. When we tell kids that, when kids come along and they say there's a boogeyman, it's not because there is actually a boogeyman, it's in their head. And just like that, as we become adults, the same things come along with us. It's not something you should feel silly about, or it's not something you should be ashamed about, but rather, you should embrace that these things happen with everybody. You're not alone. Every day we have a growing population of people who are suffering anxiety, depression, and so many other mental disorders that have become more because of lack of communication and the taboo and the stigma attached to talking about your fears. We see these not just in females, in males, mostly in males, because of our stereotypical society where males are not allowed to speak. But that does not mean that females are even allowed to speak. Females are often disdained, and they're often considered dramatic, overreacting, and so many other things they're called. Men would be called a wimp, a scaredy cat, all of those things. So because of these things, nobody has the guts to speak about what they think, their fears, and people actually, somebody could come up to you and say, I'm scared about my university, I'm not doing well, and I think it's just getting to me. And people will be like, study more. It's just not that easy. What goes around in your head is very different. It's a different kind of fear, and you need somebody to sympathize with you and to talk with you. Not pity you, but rather sympathize with you. Stand in your shoes and think what could be possibly going in your head. Understand that your struggles are valid and your problems are valid, and no matter what you're going through is valid, and you are not supposed to be silent about it, and you're not supposed to keep it in you. You're supposed to speak about it, and without any shame. If you're fearful about something, you should be open about it, and you should be able to talk to people about it. I read somewhere that if you can't talk to your friends about your mental health, that just means you don't have good friends. And that's right. If you have people around you whom you cannot talk with, they're just not good people, and a lot of us have toxic people around us. So I decided that I should make a platform for people where they can actually talk about it, even if it's to strangers. Sometimes it feels okay to talk about these things. You can be anonymous and talk about these things. You don't need to tell who you are, and you can talk about it. Maybe somebody would help you, maybe somebody would encourage you. You need that boost to go out there and be yourself, and there are people who are going to encourage you, I promise. I'll be the first one to listen to you and understand you, and I have really big plans for this channel, and I hope this thing goes right. I've made I keep on working on my webtoon, and I'll keep working on it along my YouTube, and I want to keep talking about the things that people go through and the thoughts that come along with those things. And of course, I want you guys to be interactive about it, active, and talk to me about it. Talk to others who are going to be around. The family that we're gonna build over here, hopefully in some time. And I'll be giving you my Instagrams. One Instagram, I'll be doing my artworks, I'll be sharing all my art journey on it, and you can follow me to support me for my art journey, and that's gonna be really nice of you guys. And the other account that I'll be giving, that will be based on my YouTube, and you guys can go over there, and I'll be giving polls, and I'll be asking you guys questions about your day and the things that you're going through. I'll even ask you about the new topics that you want me to talk about sometimes, and you guys can choose it. Not sometimes, I guess you guys should have full right to choose whatever topic I should talk about. And we'll be doing all kinds of stuff, and we'll try to build a really nice community together where we can actually break the taboo. And to be honest, so many people are working on it, and it's amazing. So I hope you guys support me and all my socials over here on YouTube, and you support each other, be kind to each other. I would like to see my comment section to be full of positive feedback towards each other. Even if you're hearing somebody's story and they're telling it out there, you should be like, oh, you know what, don't worry, it's gonna be okay. Let's not be toxic, let's not hurt each other, let's not say mean stuff to each other, let's be kind to each other. This is the first video, I'm super nervous. There would have been times when I would have stuttered and I would have stopped, and I'm pretty sure the video editing quality is not gonna be as good, but I'm just starting, and I needed a lot of courage to do this. A lot of my friends forced me, and even to make this video, I had to be convinced for 3 days at least that please start it. Please start it. I had everything ready, but the confidence wasn't there. So I hope I get you guys support and love from you guys too. I would really love that. And I'm a very friendly person, so guys should be active with me on socials, and I would love to hear from you guys. That's all for this video, and don't forget to follow me on my Instagrams, both of them, the art one and the one that's going to be about the YouTube, and even my webtoon. All of the links are going to be down in the description box. So bye bye.